What's going on, all my hotshot truckers, dispatchers, freight brokers, real estate investors, and business owners? Today is March 12th. It's currently 5:12 p.m. and I'm coming to you with a quick video to show you some more details on the dashboard. I received a lot of emails as well as comments asking for more information on the dashboard and asking me to explain or show some of the features that I was speaking about in the previous video. So today I wanted to show you a few, well actually one feature of the actual of the dashboard. And today when I was entering in numbers, something happened, a change happened, and I think it's pretty cool. And I want to show you that change that happened and get your feedback on and your thoughts on it. But I just want to show that to you, and it's perfect because it's also a feature on the database or the dashboard, and people have been asking about the dashboard and wanting to see more features. So let's jump right into it, and we're going to show you how my trucking company prepares for upcoming maintenance. How my trucking company prepares for upcoming maintenance. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is jump into the dashboard. Okay, so as you know, this is the dashboard. Everyone who watched the previous video should be familiar with this. And since people have been asking about the videos, I will probably make like the last video be part 1. I make this video be part 2, and then I do maybe 3, 4, 5, and possibly 6, maybe a 6th video as well. Okay, so this is the dashboard. All of my drivers from my trucking company receive this on a weekly basis to show them their numbers for the week and month to date. And the owner operators that my dispatching company dispatches for receive this as well on a weekly basis in a weekly recap. So this goes to both of those. But I showed you this, that goes to owner operators and my drivers. But I showed you this last time, maybe 2 weeks ago. Today, like I stated, we're focusing on upcoming maintenance. So let me zoom in. Okay, so let me zoom in so you can see the upcoming maintenance and how we actually plan for upcoming maintenance. So as of right now, we focus on have a criteria of 5 type of maintenance that we focus on that we normally get all the time. So oil changes, fuel filter, front brakes, back brakes, and tires. So at this current moment, the current status of our truck, this is one truck actually, so the current status of one of the trucks, the oil is good as of right now, the fuel filter is good, the front brakes are good, the back brakes are good, and the tires are good. So we're going to enter a load that one of the drivers took from Ohio to Orlando, and we're going to see a change happen. An alert or a notification will happen here under the current status, okay? So I want you to stay focused on the current status and watch the change that happens. And this is how we prepare for our upcoming maintenance. So the first thing we're going to do is enter that load. So you know we go here, we enter the database, and this form pops up. This form populates. This is the input form where we input the data for the previous load. So this load was picked up on 3/11/2020. The load number 101921. The start location, Arch, Ohio. The ending location, Orlando, Florida. My driver's from Orlando, so he was going home for the weekend. So we had a pretty good load to get him to the a pretty good home load. The miles was 1,073. The length was 27 feet. There's actually 2 trailers that were 27 feet long, and they stacked them on top of each other. And only weighed 6,000 pounds, which was amazing. And the rate was $2,200, right at $2 a mile. And the broker was Trinity Logistics. All right, so as you can see, we have the data put into the input form. We have the miles. So the miles was 1,073 miles. It's very important to know for upcoming maintenance. So we hit the submit button. And once we hit the submit button, there's a change that happened. You see the change? It says oil change needed in 2,000 miles or less. And it says fuel filter change needed in 2,000 miles or less. Previously, this said the oil change was good and it said the fuel filter was good. So what happens is our dashboard or the database, it tracks the miles that the truck is driving. So when we drove 1,000 miles, and once we input the miles into the database is storing those miles, and it's saying, okay, the truck went 1,000 miles. So now he's in that range that he needs to get. This truck needs to have an oil change completed or a fuel filter change on the truck. So this is what the database is keeping track of. So all the miles that we input, every time we put in a load and we say it went 800 miles, 500 miles, 600 miles, the database is keeping track of that, and it's tracking when the upcoming maintenance is actually due. And you can see we have average cost here. So this is the average cost for the actual maintenance. This is the average cost for the maintenance. So average cost for oil change 200, fuel filter change 200 as well. And the things that this does for us, so every probably Friday over the weekend, we sit down while we're preparing for the next week, we say, what is our upcoming maintenance? And this tells us our story. So we know we have an oil change that's coming up in 2,000 miles. We know that next week we need to go ahead and set up an appointment at the Dodge Ram place. We need to go ahead and put $200, $400 aside to make sure we have that taken care of for to pay it, so we don't have to go into our bank that we have money being stored there. We can let that money sit because we already know that, hey, if I take this load coming up, I need to get $400 out of that load for the oil change, for the fuel filter. It prepares us financially, as well as it prepares so our truck doesn't break down on the road and we have a load on the truck that's need to be delivered, but need an oil change or a fuel filter, and certain things may happen, or brakes or tires and things of that nature happen to us on the road. So it kind of prepares for that. It doesn't eliminate issues when it comes to maintenance, but it does prepare us for upcoming maintenance. Okay, so let me give you a breakdown of how the database actually records the miles. Okay, so we go down here to this maintenance tab, and you can see last mile change. So first you see the type of things we have inside on the first page. And then we have the miles. So every 10,000 miles, let's focus on these two, oil changes, and so let's focus on these two for now. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. So oil change and fuel filter. We like to get an oil change and a fuel filter change every 10,000 miles. We have a warning. Once we are approaching 8,000 miles, we need to warn. The database will warn us that, hey, an oil change is needed soon. The cost is $200 roughly, and the last mile change was 125,000. What this means, the last time we got the oil change on this truck is at 125,000 miles. As you can see, we got a lot done at the 125,000 mile marker. So what this is showing is that we would like to get an oil change every 10,000 miles. So at 135,000 miles, if you add 125,000 plus 10,000 miles, that's 135,000 miles. So the 135,000 mile marker, we need an oil change. But the warning is here to tell us we want to know 2,000 miles before it's time for an oil change that we actually need an oil change. So that's why we have the warning column here that warns us 2,000 miles before time. Okay? Right here, this number, this is this 134,000. This is the current miles on the truck. The current miles on the truck after we had added the that 1,000 mile marker. Okay? The 1,000 mile trip from Orlando. And it continues just to calculate, goes. So let me give you an example. So if I go back here and hit enter database, and I say I put in, remember it said 134,000 miles. Say I put in 10,000 miles here. 10,000 miles, and I hit submit. So once I hit submit, I go to maintenance, you see that number has changed now to 144,000 miles. 144,000 miles has changed. It went up 10,000 miles. So like I said, whenever we put a load into the system, however many miles we put in, the database is tracking that, and when it's tracking that, it's tracking this, and we have some code in here, formulas in here that tells us when the warning sign needs to go off. Okay, so that's basically how we track our upcoming maintenance. And as you can see, we like to have a 2,000 mile warning. Oil change needed in 2,000 miles. It shows us the cost. If the oil change is actually good, it'll say oil change good, like it showed previously. If the fuel filter is good, it'll say fuel filter is good. Like you see right now, it says the front brakes are good, the back brakes are good. So we're good to go for some time now as far as brakes. So we just got everything done maybe roughly around almost 10,000 miles ago. So, but this is just how we keep up with our upcoming maintenance. The database alerts us when it's time 2,000 miles before we need to get an oil change or a fuel filter, so we can go ahead and make those phone calls. Trying to get into the Dodge Ram place, I don't know. I have Rams, so I don't know what everyone else has, but trying to get into the Ram place, you may be there all day on a Saturday and a Sunday, truck just sitting there on 3-4 days trying to get an oil change, or not necessarily oil change, trying to get brakes or trying to get something taken care of in your truck because they're so busy. So this right here just prepares for upcoming maintenance, as well as it allows us to get our funds together to make sure we can pay for the whatever the maintenance is without going into our the money we're putting aside. And that's the good thing about it. So we know that this may cost $400. So the first load that we book for the next week, we're going to take $400 out of that load, and there we go. That's the money, and we didn't have to go into anything we've already saved. So those are things we do. This is what we use for our upcoming maintenance. The truck drivers from my company, they see this, they get this on a weekly basis. But owner operators that we dispatch for with our dispatching company, they do not get this. This is actually something that we have not offered them yet. We may start offering them that if that's something that they want. But as of right now, we do not offer that to individuals we dispatch from the dispatching company. But so this is it. So if you have any questions, and this is just an additional feature. Keep in mind, we do have more features. We have this add miscellaneous box here that takes us to a lot of stuff that it does, and you can you see here, enter miscellaneous costs. This helps us track the costs that we have, anything that we have that comes up that's miscellaneous. And so it's a lot of other features. So like I said, I may do step 3, 4, 5, 6, and however many we need to do to get through the dashboard or the database. But that's all I have for you right now. If you have any questions, you can send me an email at hotshotonner@gmail.com. That's hotshotonner@gmail.com with any questions. If you have any comments, just leave them below. And once again, thank you for the feedback that you gave me about the dashboard. I really appreciate it. So until next time, hope everyone has a successful week. If you have any questions just about the business, about data, about the business in general, Hotshot Trucking, just feel free to give me write me, email me, comments, and I'll definitely answer any questions you may have. So until next time, peace.